Hey there, hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to talk here in this new series from the studio about estate planning. And it's something I've touched on a lot, and the reason why is because it comes up a lot in the practice. So first things first is plan ahead. You know, we have families who come in and they're facing trouble with an elderly parent or a loved one. Doesn't have to even be elderly, but more often than not they are. And things that are going to be disruptive to that family's care plan is the loss of capacity of that adult. And why that's important to plan ahead is because when you're faced with a situation where somebody has dementia onset at a younger age than you would expect, or a brain injury, some sort of traumatic brain injury, and there's not a life plan in place, and by that I mean specifically a Texas durable power of attorney and a medical power of attorney, there are no options when that person's lost capacity except for a very expensive guardianship proceeding. This is not something generally that Legal Aid of Northwest Texas can help with. And it's costly because you know, whoever wants to seek the guardianship of that person, surviving spouse, a younger child, an aunt or an uncle, they have to petition the court to open a guardianship proceeding. That's just like filing any other lawsuit. It's a couple $100, and then go through the process of determining whether they're fit to be a guardian, what assets there might be, if any, and how they're going to be administered, and then report to the court. If all that goes well, you know, the court will appoint an investigator and then will find out how the guardian's doing, how the applicant looks. They'll get a report from this attorney who's appointed to do this investigation, and the estate of the ward, in other words, mom's money, dad's money, this relative's money, is going to have to be used to pay for this investigative attorney to make their report to the court. And that's not a bad thing, but that's a few $1,000s in legal fees, where, you know, it's the old adage from Benjamin Franklin that a stitch in time can save nine. And a little forethought with these life planning documents, like a power of attorney, can save a considerable amount of pain and money for a family who needs to just simply do things like handle a lawsuit for a loved one, or address a situation where the loved one has lost the ability to write checks, to walk, to care for themselves, and they need to be cared for, or medical decisions need to be made for them. And without some sort of life planning document, it could just be so problematic, and worse, cost prohibitive. So a real simple thing to do is to get a durable power of attorney and get a medical power of attorney. I'll touch more on those in the next segment as to what they do specifically. Please like, subscribe, and share. I always invite people to leave a comment. I'll either reply to you directly on whatever social media platform you comment on, or I will, as I have done in the past, follow it up with a subsequent video on whatever that question may or may not be, if that viewer wants that to be the subject of a subsequent video. And I so much appreciate these videos. I love doing them for you. I hope you find them positive, uplifting, and useful. That is what they are intended to be. And, you know, that goes to the whole point of, I think social media is a force for good, and we all ought to be using it for good. And I certainly attempt to endeavor that. Anyway, I hope you'll have a wonderful day. And I'll touch more on powers of attorney and how they can benefit you in the next segment.